allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And last evening, we recognized all those who lost their lives on 9/11, and for those who had subsequently passed due to 9/11 related issues. A moment of silence, please. Mr. Paschetti, our prayer.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants and the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant that we have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice was given to the official newspapers of the Township on January 6, 2023, and has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of Township Council will be held on Tuesday, October 10th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro.
Here.
Councilperson DePalma.
Here.
Councilperson Desai.
Here.
Councilperson Garcia.
Here.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli. Here. Councilperson Murphy is absent. Councilperson Paschetti.
Here.
Councilperson Walker.
Here.
Council President Sohar.
Here. Good evening, everyone. We'll begin with recognizing September as Senior Center Month. Good evening, Mayor Henry.
Thank you, Council. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to read a proclamation, and then I'm going to ask Anna to come up here as we commemorate Senior Center Month, and Anna's going to give us a rundown on 2023, some of our accomplishments here in Old Bridge. Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and strengthen our community. Silver Linings at Old Bridge has acted as a catalyst for mobilizing the creativity, the energy, the vitality, and commitment of the older residents of the Township of Old Bridge. Through the wide array of services, programs, and activities, senior centers empower older citizens of the Township of Old Bridge to contribute to their own health and the well-being and the health and the well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. During the pandemic, Silver Linings at Old Bridge was a community partner in ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens, people of ages 60 and older, many with underlying medical conditions, were cared for and were able to stay connected, safe, and healthy right here in Old Bridge. Senior centers in our country, in our state, and across the nation affirm and dignify self-worth and independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experience, their skills, and their knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. So now, therefore, I, Owen Henry, Mayor of the Township of Old Bridge, Township Council, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim September 2023 National Senior Center Month and call upon all citizens to recognize the special contributions of the Senior Center participants and the special efforts of our staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of our older citizens of our community. Thank you. Anna, please. Matt, present.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Henry. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Matt, for your unwavering support of our center. We've had a wonderful 2023. We're only about 3/4 of the way through, and we have a very exciting fourth quarter coming up. We have welcomed over 200 new members at the center and counting. We see on average about 235 members, whether it's through the doors or using our bus service. We've expanded our bus service to include shopping, medical transportation, transportation to and from the center, and that's really helped a lot of our residents get back into their routines in life post-pandemic. At the center, we've provided education classes, new trips, new classes, art education, Bollywood dance class, pickleball. We've brought a little bit of everything for everyone. If you're not familiar with the center, we service 60 and up, with our youngest member being 60 and our oldest being 100. So it's a 40-year age gap we have to program for, and we have been doing that very well this year. Again, I thank the mayor, the council, Matt, and our Department of Parks and Recreation for their continued support of the center and everything that we have yet to accomplish.
Thank you very much, Hannah. That was a great presentation. Okay. Next will be mayor appointment with council concurrence.
Yes, council, again, thank you. In your packet or on your iPad, you see your resolution tonight. I am asking for council consent as I appoint Dawn Swoboda as a Director of Finance. A little background on Dawn. We're all familiar with her. She was hired by the Township in 2008, obtained her Certified Municipal Finance Officer Certificate in 2010, Tax Collector Certification in 2011, appointed as Tax Collector on November 28, 2011, and has been serving as the Acting Director of Finance since March of 2008. She's also the Township's QPA, and that was appointed in 2022. So I would ask the council to vote in a positive manner to allow Dawn to be our Director of Finance. I don't think there's a better choice that I can make as a mayor.
Very nice. Okay, thank you, Mayor. And now I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so motion, Mr. Desai, second. There was 3 seconds, okay. Mr. De Palma.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai? Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes, congratulations, Dawn.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
And Council President Soha?
Yes, and thank you, everyone. Obviously, Dawn, we're all very much in favor of this, so congratulations, and thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, council.
You're welcome, Mayor. Next will be resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Old Bridge appointing the Public Compliance Officer pursuant to NJAC 17:27-3.3.
Madam President, before, if you know, on the agenda, there was one regarding the appointment of Chief Financial Officer. We had to remove that from the agenda. Well, let's say it this way. It's another statute or law that was adopted by the state legislature many years ago that's not perfectly clear. How do you deal with vacancies in the Chief Financial Office?
Okay.
And we tried to get clarification from local finance. Dawn had reached out, and I received a response. The response, when I read the statutes that they referenced, that I reviewed, didn't seem to be applicable to the situation as they had alerted to, because obviously the vacancy in this instance was brought about by a retirement for someone who's tenured. Some of the, I'll call them the constitutional offices, collector, assessor, CFO, there's one more in there, I can't remember which, clerk. They're clear when there's a vacancy, and then what happens with the appointment, and then you fill the unexpired term. With respect to the CFO, it doesn't state it. And when you use the vacancy statute, that's a general vacancy statute, they give about 8 or 9 different ways that the vacancy could occur. One of them isn't retirement. So that wouldn't apply. So it gets a little confusing. So I had hoped to get further clarification. We didn't receive it in time, so we're going to have to wait for the next meeting and have a clarification.
All right,
Okay?
thank you. Yep, so noted.
The differences are dramatic. It's either going to be an appointment for the remainder of this year, or an appointment for basically would be almost 2.5 years. So it's
That is
it's a dramatic difference.
No, it certainly is. Okay, well, thank
sorry
you
about
very
that.
much. No, it's appreciated. That's why the clerk had told me that it was not ready yet. So we're on to the second one, which was the resolution NJAC 17:27, dash 3.3, which is the resolution township appointing the public compliance officer, which is, again, Dawn. Okay, so do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg, second by Mrs. Walker.
Roll call, Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli. Yes. Councilperson Paskiddy.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay, Ms. Dawn, thank you very much again.
That's 8 yeses.
That's 8 yeses. Okay, great. Okay, next is perhaps the attorney would
Sure.
expound
Yeah.
on this, please.
Looks like I'm going to have a lot to say tonight.
Yeah. Get a bottle of
Not a
water.
very good thing. This next appointment, if you recall, at the July meeting, there was an appointment of Leon Scogno to the Housing Authority. Subsequent to the appointment, it was learned that Scogno already sits on the zoning board and rent stabilization board. There's a provision, which I wasn't aware of at the time of the initial appointment. There's a provision under the Housing Authority law that basically states that you can only be an officer or an employee of, you can only be an officer and sitting in one of these seats of one committee, one board, if you sit on the Housing Authority. So in order for Mr. Scogno to sit as a Housing Authority member, he would have to resign from the zoning board and the rent stabilization board. My understanding was that he really wanted to stay on the zoning board, which is fine. So consequently, what council will have to do, and I put it in one resolution, so there'll be a two-step process. We'll have to come up with a new individual to fill that vacancy. So what we'll do is find out who that individual is, and then once we do that individual, we'll move to adopt the resolution which both rescinds the prior appointment of Mr. Scogno and then appoints whoever selected as new Housing Authority member.
So we'd be doing.
So the first thing I would do is, at this point, you would ask for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Anthony Cavallo.
I'll second.
No seconds on
Seconding.
motion.
We've confirmed, right, he's on any other boards, right? No?
Yep.
Okay, good. And then the other nominations.
Yes. I'd like to nominate Lance Helfman.
I'll second the nomination.
We don't need
You don't have to second, so what we'll do is, if, I don't know if you were here last time, Mr. Sy, is that, so there's, what we'll first do is, there'll be a roll call, and when the roll call is taken, this is under Robert's rules, the council members will vote for either individual, and then whoever gets a majority of that, then that would be the nominee, and then their name will be inserted in the resolution, and then we'll move to adopt that resolution, rescinding the appointment and appointing the new member.
Okay, and we did also receive a letter of interest from Councilman Murphy, who wanted to be appointed. I had asked him to fill out the citizen leadership form, but I believe,
Right, so similar to what happened with Mr. Scogno under the Housing Authority Law, which is 48, 12A, 17, there's a provision, subparagraph D, which states that no more than one member of a housing authority may be an officer or employee of the municipality. Anthony already sits as we already have one member of council sitting on the Housing Authority, so statutorily, we'd be precluded, you would be precluded from considering his appointment, much like Mr. Scogno, similar to situation. So you wouldn't be able to do it under the statute.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it after I was elected because Mr. Butler was on the Housing Authority.
and Councilwoman DeCara, are we sure that Mr. Hilfman serves on no other boards? Oh, I'm sure. We're positive. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I didn't see him on any. Of this township? Yes. Okay, so we have a motion for Mr. Anthony Cavallo and Mr. Lance Hilfman. So when I call your name, if you could just denote who you would like to approve for the appointment. Councilperson DeCaro.
Lance Hilfman.
Councilperson De Palma. Councilperson Desai.
Lance Hipman.
Councilperson Garcia.
Mr. Cavallo.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. Anthony Cavallo.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Mr. Cavallo.
Councilperson Walker.
Mr. Cavallo.
Council President Sohar.
Mr. Cavallo.
Mr. Cavallo it is.
So the next step would be adopting the resolution rescinding the appointment of Mr. Scogno, and we'll insert Mr. Cavallo's name in the resolution and be appointing him for, it's a vacancy for, it's a term, it's a 5-year term that terminates May 31, 2025.
2025, okay. Now, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
We need a motion in order to, okay, Tony made the motion, all right. Mr. Pasquetti and Dr. Greenberg Bell.
Roll call, Councilperson DeCaro.
I'm sorry, what is, I'm sorry, I'm confused. What are we voting on right now?
So we're voting on the resolution. What you first did was came up with the nominee with the vote. So this is the resolution to rescind the prior appointment of Mr. Scogno and to officially, with the resolution, appoint Mr. Cavallo,
Okay, I thought, okay,
which is done by resolution.
okay, got it. Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Abstain.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next will be H1, performance bond release, Calvary Chapel, Old Bridge, Block 9000, Lot 11 and 12.15. Good evening, how are you, Mr. Clauser?
Peter Clauser with the firm Heilbron and Pape on behalf of your applicant, Calvary Church, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Shapiro.
Good evening, Mrs. Shapiro.
Good evening, Council President, Council. This was an application that was in front of our zoning board. Calvary Chapel Church wanted to expand their parking lot. And so they have a 3-acre lot parcel that contains their church and a parking lot, but they wanted to expand their parking lot, and they had the adjacent lot. And they look to construct additional parking for the people that attend mass and services and any events at the church. They did so, and then they came in front of our zoning board, and they did receive approvals. That project was constructed, and it was in fully compliant with the plan that was approved in front of the zoning board. This was unique in that there was no public improvements, and there were no other bondable items except for safety and stabilization bond in the amount of $5,000. That was posted in cash via check 9744. As of today, we've received no complaints on the construction or anything that had occurred on that street. And we just recommend that if there's any outstanding escrows, that the applicant does pay that as a condition of the release of the performance guarantee. And then also, should the council look favorably on the release, then we would let the applicant know that that would be on the next council bill list, which is October 10th, I believe.
I had the chance to review
Okay.
Ms. Shapiro's report, and I'm in agreement,
You're in
and we understand
agreement,
if there's any
okay.
outstanding fees that are due, they'll be paid.
Very good. I'll open it now to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this? No. Seeing no hands closed public, I will go to council. Anyone on my left have a question? Anyone on my right? Okay, so I'll ask for a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Just want to make sure, I don't know if anybody is, if anybody's a member of the Calvary Chapel, make sure you abstain.
What?
If you're a member of Calvary, someone's a member of Calvary Chapel, you have to abstain from the vote.
Yeah, I got it. Oh, okay. Then,
So anyone who
Throw
is,
my-
right,
I'll second it.
okay, all right,
Debbie second.
okay, all right. Yeah, instead, yes, yeah.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes, as
Count-
Township engineer recommended.
Count-
I'm sorry?
Councilperson, he said as Township Engineer recommended.
Yeah, yeah, per her recommendations. I got, yep.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti,
Abstain.
Councilperson Walker,
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Thank you very
Okay,
much. Have
thank
a
you
good
very
evening.
much, Peter. Have a good
7
evening.
yeses, 1
Thank you,
abstention.
Nicole. Approval of minutes, resolution of the Township of Old Bridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, approving the regular and executive combined council meeting minutes of May 9th, 2023, and June 13th, 2023, and regular combined council meeting minutes of June 27th, 2023. Do I have a motion? Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg.
Roll call, Councilperson DeCaro,
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma,
Yes.
Councilperson Desai,
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia,
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti,
Yes.
Councilperson Walker,
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Next will be our bill list, Mrs. Walker.
Accounts payable, September 12th, 2023, $14,571 and, it's $571,926.10. Payroll, August 18th, 2023, $1,215,236.92. Payroll overtime, August 18th, 2023, $33,378.92. Payroll, September 1st, 2023, $1,154,983.71. Payroll overtime, September 1st, 2023, $39,457.52. And that concludes the bill list.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Shapiro, do we have a breakdown of overtime, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. As Councilwoman Walker indicated, overtime for pay period August 18, 2023 was $33,378.92, of which sworn police officers were in the amount of $21,640.18, deduct grants in the amounts of $6,718.21, deduct ETO in the amount of $2,714.77, deduct accreditations in the amount of $0, representing a total amount of $12,207.20, which represents 198.5 man and women hours. And just so council is aware, there were 2 officers on light duty during this period, and there was a slight uptick. Although the next pay period had saltwater day in it, there was preparations for saltwater day. Councilwoman Walker also indicated that for pay period September 1st, 2023, the total was $39,457.52, of which sworn police overtime was the amount of $18,877.16. Deduct grants in the amount of $4,215.73. Deduct ETO in the amount of $1,794.16. Deduct accreditations in the amount of $485.54, representing a total of $12,381.73. And then the total men and women hours were 180.5 hours. There were 2 officers also in light duty, and then saltwater day did occur during this period, so there was a slight uptick. And that concludes the overtime analysis.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Shapiro. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. DeCaro.
Roll call, Councilperson DeCaro,
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma,
Yes.
Councilperson Desai,
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia,
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti,
Yes.
Councilperson Walker,
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Okay, next will be our consent agenda. I would like to ask for a motion and a second, and then I will go to council members for separation.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. De Palma.
Okay, Councilperson DeCaro, any resolutions for removal?
Just C9.
C9?
C9, okay.
Councilperson De Palma.
No, thank you.
Councilperson Desai.
No.
Councilperson Garcia.
None, thank you.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
No, thank you.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
No separations, thank you.
Councilperson Walker.
No, thank you.
Council President Sohar.
Yes, I'd like to separate C1, 2, 3, and 4, please.
3 and 4.
Okay, so we'll take a vote on the balance.
Right. Vote for the balance on the consent agenda. Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay, I separated the following, the C1, 2, 3, and 4, all of which are, I really wanted to bring attention to them because I think they're very important and they should be recognized. And I would like to let Anna, if you would come up, please, and give us the rundown, and Matt on all that went on with attaining these grants. Thank you.
Good evening. So we participate in the Middlesex County APC, so that's area contract grants regarding older American funding that comes down from the federal government to New Jersey. Middlesex County goes out and obtains that money, and we apply for grants through them. The amount of grants that are available is quite drastic, but for us, we were able to obtain for a 3-year contract 6 grants: information and assistance, education, transportation, mental health, physical activity, and most importantly, recreation and socialization. Recreation and socialization and education are 2 grants that we just recently started using since last year, and they have made a huge difference in the programming we've been able to offer our members. Throughout the year, as we report our units for these grants, the county comes across more funding that has not been used, and they disseminate that funding to those who are showing that they're using these grants. And that's based on the units and the participation and things like that. So we have been very fortunate to be allocated what's called mid-year funding, which is what is on the consent agenda tonight as a Chapter 159 in 3 of those categories: information and assistance, physical activity, and recreation and socialization. Just to give you an idea, the amount of grants that the Senior Center has brought in today between APC grants, UP funding, NCOA, and CDBG funding has been over $154,000.
That's great.
Just this year alone. Without that, we would not be able to do what we do without having to bring that cost down to our participants, which would be a big detriment for them. They don't have the disposable income to be able to participate in these programs. So we will continue to apply for our funding. We will continue to look for these grants and make sure that we can provide the best programs for our members.
Matt, would you like to add something?
And I'll just obviously add on to that. I know that we came to you guys a couple years ago for the My Senior Center program. So anytime anybody comes to any of our services, they get what is equated to a point. With the My Senior Center option that we were able to pick up, they swipe in, they swipe out. So it's getting rid of a lot of the manual stuff. So if you take a ride in our transportation in the morning, you swipe in, it's a point. Take a ride while you're here shopping, another point. A ride home, shopping. All of our classes, points, points, points. We obviously have to input that then into the SAM's system for certain funding, but that just helps and I know that as soon as we transferred over to that, we started capturing our numbers, real numbers in real time. And like Anna said, we spend it, so we know when they have extra funding that they're looking to get rid of in mid-year, they know that if they give it to us here in Old Bridge, that we're gonna spend it, and we do spend it. And then I just want to give information on C4. Obviously, that's the national opioid settlement money. We've been getting more and more of that money this year. We had a statewide call last month that kind of went over the rules about how you could spend it and how you can't spend it. Myself and Ro, who's in charge of our municipal alliance here in town, we spoke with our county representative at the municipal alliance on the county level, because one of their rules is, you can't, Any program that is technically being supported by Municipal Alliance grant money can't be then reinforced with the national opioid money. But we did speak with our representative at the county, and there is ways to offer certain programs in certain schools that would stay there. Then you can offer that same program within other schools with the extra money. So there is a lot of education going on. There are some towns that are taking this money and handing it over to the county and letting them kind of operate those funds. That's not what we're looking to do with here in Old Bridge. We're looking to keep our Municipal Alliance funds and do our programming through that, and then bulk up with the opioid money.
Yeah, we were there for the opioid awareness day, and it was very obvious that Old Bridge is on the edge, you know what I mean, of doing things and participating, but also leading in many ways, you know, with Rosemary and yourselves, and that's good to know. It really, really is. I think we're on the forefront, and that's important locally to keep it that way. So thank you. And thank you both. I mean, the whole council is just totally very, very pleased with all the grant money and all the things that you've done with it and how you've used it. There's so many seniors that come and tell us all the time how happy they are there, that they're very, very happy at the senior center.
We're the best center in the state by far.
Oh, it is, absolutely. We're so proud, very proud. Thank you very, very much. Very nice. Okay, Mark, can we do these together? Sure. Okay, so I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion, and then second by Dr. Greenberg.
Roll call for items number C1, C2, C3, and C4. Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes, great job.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes, thank you very much.
8 yeses.
Next will be C9, Mrs. DeCaro.
Sure, thank you. Just a quick question, just for clarification purposes from Mr. Roselli, I guess. Down on the 6th whereas on the resolution, when I was reading it, I just wasn't sure that I understood tax collector system and to date the taxes and municipal lien remain unpaid. What is that referencing? Is that referencing all the taxes, or is that referencing?
Correct.
Just the portion that,
Well, you got to remember, for Lot 7611, they remain unpaid because when it was registered in the whole system, it was only on one side,
Right.
not in the tax collector system. So from the time it was, when it was, it goes back, I think, to 2015.
right,
Right, so that's from 2015, Dawn, or 2016?
Thank you.
Right, 2016, right. So it's from 2016 forward on that one lot, 7611.
right. So it was updated in 2021, correct?
Correct,
All right, but it still remains unpaid in 2023?
correct. And that's what they're seeking to collect, are the taxes for that lot, as well as interest from March 2021, I think.
Could you come up a minute this way? Thank you.
We're looking to collect the principal amount of taxes from 2016 to current.
Okay.
But then the interest, to waive it 2016 through first quarter of
2020.
2021.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted clarification on that. That's all, thank you.
Which is in the 9th whereas clause.
Right. That was it. That was just my question. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay, all right. Do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
Okay,
Second.
okay.
Motion by Councilperson DeCaro, second by Walker. Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes,
8 yeses.
okay. Report of the township clerk?
I do have a letter that was received, and they would like to have me read it into the record. So it says, "Dear council members, while watching the council meeting of August 8th, 2023, during the public comments, a resident, Nina Joknowitz, insinuated the zoning board members take kickbacks. We were appalled to hear this statement. We demand a public apology from Nina Joknowitz immediately. This is clearly defamation of character, and to avoid legal action, she must issue publicly a statement that this allegation is false and has no merit. In our opinion, she does not deserve the privilege of speaking during public comment. Insulting volunteers in this manner is reprehensible and will not be tolerated. This behavior cannot and will not be allowed. We will not turn a blind eye to this malice, and we will be requesting the council to authorize legal representation in protecting the good, law-abiding, decent members of the zoning board. Sincerely, a number of members. It looks like Roseanne Andrews, Patricia Testaverde, Doreen Chevalier, and Leon Scogno, zoning board members. That's all I have.
All right, and can we make a motion to accept her report?
You can, unless you want to do my report.
Okay, well, Mr. Desai, too, so all right, Anita and Mr. Desai.
Anita? And Councilperson Desai?
Yes, yes.
Roll call for the acceptance of the clerk's report. Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes. And then we will proceed.
I just, no report because there's an executive session that may take a little time, so just giving some forewarning. Usually good. You don't have executive session.
Next will be public comment on any subject matter. Oh, administrative, I'm so sorry, I apologize. Wishful. Oh, yeah, this is a big one. Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you, Council President. This is administrative report dated September 12th, 2023. Item number 1, Old Bridge Golf Club at Rose Lambertson. Old Bridge Township announces the soft public grand opening of the Old Bridge Golf Club at Rose Lambertson to be held on Thursday, September 28, 2023, weather permitting. The soft grand opening will feature access to the following course amenities: a driving range, practice putting green, and miniature golf course with access to on-site pro shop and concession stand. The golf course will have limited tee time beginning mid-October 2023. For rates, hours of operation, to reserve your tee times, and for up-to-date information, visit www.obnjgolf.com, which will launch Friday, September 18, 2023. Full golf course tee times will begin April 1st, 2024. Item number 2, Menino Park Pickleball Court Lighting. Menino Park contains 5 newly constructed pickleball courts that are contained within a 10-foot-high fenced area between the children's playground and a baseball field. The Township of Old Bridge began installing 4 single high-performance LED sports lighting on 20-foot-high poles surrounding the Menino Park pickleball courts on Thursday, August 24th, 2023. Construction included the installation of concrete footings for the light poles and fixtures, conduit, and wiring. Construction was completed on Wednesday, September 6, 2023, with the lights operating from dusk to 10 p.m. Item number 3, CDBG Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report for Program Year 2022. The Township of Old Bridge hereby gives notice that it has completed its Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report for its Community Development Block Grant CDBG program for the period covering July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. This report contains information including 1, summary of the resources and accomplishments; 2, status of action taken during the year to implement the goals outlined in the consolidated plan; and 3, evaluation of the progress made during the year in addressing identified priority needs and objectives. Interested citizens are invited to examine this report and comment on its contents prior to submission of the report to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
This report will be available for review in the Old Bridge Township Municipal Building, 1 Old Bridge Plaza, Old Bridge, New Jersey, and on the township's website at www.oldbridge.com/projects. The public review period is from September 12th, 2023 through September 27, 2023. Written comments will be accepted and can be addressed to Nicole Shapiro, Assistant Business Administrator, at the same address and must be received before 4:30 p.m., September 27, 2023. The Township intends to submit its report to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on or about September 28, 2023. Item number 4, Old Bridge Paper Shred. There will be a paper shredding event on Friday, October 13, 2023, open to all Old Bridge residents. The truck will be in Cheesequake Village from 10 to 11 a.m., then at the Township Municipal Complex from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Please visit oldbridge.com/recycling for more details. Item number 5, Old Bridge Day. Our annual Old Bridge Day will be held on Saturday, September 23rd from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Municipal Complex. The events feature live entertainment, food, games, performances from local groups, vendor tables, and the opportunity to meet with the township and local government officials. Item number 6, Parks and Recreation. The Fall Parks and Recreation brochure is now available, and registration begins on Tuesday, September 12th at 6 p.m. For more information and to download the brochure, please visit www.oldbridge.com/recreation or call 732-721-5600, extension 4999. Item number 7, Municipal Alliance. On behalf of the Mayor's Health and Wellness Council, the Old Bridge Police Department, the Old Bridge School District, and Old Bridge Township, would like to thank Mr. John Antel from Outfront Media for donating space on its Route 9 digital billboard for the PSA in the month of September for suicide prevention. The board message reads, "Don't suffer in silence. Dial #988. Council President, that concludes the administrative report.
Thank you very much. Does anyone on my left have a comment or a question for Mrs. Shapiro? Okay, anyone on my right? Mr. Pasquini.
Do you have a time on that, the Lambertson golf course?
It will be on our website as it gets closer. On www.oldbridge.com/projects, we're working out the detail with the developer, and we're still putting final touches on the golf course, but the golf course will be completely ready by that time. It'll just be limited use for the fall, and then the official 100% opening would be in April. But that information will be available on that website probably by this Friday when that website for the golf course is up.
Okay, so it's, the soft opening is just a soft opening, no
Soft-
ceremony.
Soft opening for the public on Thursday, September 28th. Council will receive a separate invitation for Tuesday, the 26th, and that's for council, and then just for the local officials, for the department heads, for the people that were involved in the design and the construction of the project. So it would be very small on the 26th, and then on the 28th is just a bigger sort of grand opening. If somebody wants to come and play miniature golf, or somebody wants to, hit some balls at the driving range, they can do so that day.
Thank you so much. I'd like to move it.
I just want to say thank you for announcing that, because that's what I get most of the calls on when I meet people once the golf course opening. So a lot of happy people now.
Councilwoman Walker, I invite everybody to look at, and we try and update it almost, every other day, www.oldbridge/projects. All our projects that are in construction phase, we try and put on there construction photos of what's going on out there. You'll see even construction photos from the golf course, although we try and angle it so that you don't see the construction equipment in there, so it looks more beautiful. But there are several pictures, even Cottrell Farm Park, that's site phase 2. It's nice to see, the progress along there. And then also Menino Park is on there. Brian Burns, I can't take credit. He takes his drone up there and he provides us with pictures, and I'd like to share that because it's neat to see how the synthetic fields kind of get constructed, and you're walking along the progress with us.
Thank you so much. I think everyone is just so excited and anxious to see it come to fruition. So they keep, calling everyone, and, they're anxious, and that's okay. That's a good thing. It's a positive in town. You like that kind of good excitement. Okay, so do I have a motion? Okay. Yep,
Pescity, and second by Dr. Greenberg.
Dr.
Bella.
Greenberg Bella, yes.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Pescity.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Next will be public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes. Read your,
I'm sorry.
she has to read first her.
The public comment portion of our meeting is allowed to public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. The session is open for any topic or items on the consent agenda in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council. The council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach and to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker is finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting.
Thank you very much.
Just, if you're going to state your name, don't state your name or your address.
I'm a resident of Old Bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, good
Thank you
evening.
to the board. I normally ignore this woman who speaks at almost every council meeting, school board meeting, phones, other meetings with her pseudo-intellectual, condescending speech as the expert of all things Old Bridge. At the last council meeting in August, she went too far, insinuating that the zoning board took kickbacks. As a member of that board, lady, if you have proof, put up or shut up. The council attorney at that meeting sadly did not caution her about libel laws. I believe in freedom of speech, not freedom of false accusations. We have codes of conduct regarding bullying in schools. This is an adult who bullies on Facebook, as well as meetings inside and outside of this chamber. The more she gets away with it, the bolder she becomes. She must be censured. Thank you for your time.
Hello. I'd like to comment also on the August 8th meeting that was held here in front of it, where the zoning board was accused of taking kickbacks. I'm on the zoning board. I've lived in this town, and my family's lived in this town since 1932. I have taken what is best for Old Bridge always first. At first, I thought I should take this comment, this absurd comment, and just let it go, because the source has her own political agenda, which she is obviously trying to push. I went and took all the educational courses to be on the zoning board. I've read and reread the master plan over and over. I know its changes. I know our variances and I know our ordinances. I'm here to do what's best for Old Bridge and keep it on an even keel so no one's getting away with anything. So I resent this comment. I want a written and public retraction of this statement by this woman, or I want free representation from the council for the defamation of my character. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm a resident of Old Bridge also. I want to get my timer. Okay. Good evening. I'm a retired police sergeant, NYPD, first respondent at 9/11. I currently volunteer on this township zoning board. My integrity has been attacked twice by a woman that is here at this meeting every time, creating division under the ruse of assisting the community. How convenient an election year to make this current administration, which is Republican-run, look bad. I personally watched her play solitaire during this meeting and then come up to bully this board. She has insinuated that the zoning board takes bribes with zero proof. Or show us the proof. She is absolutely the bully for Jill DeCaro. I've personally, at a meeting, expressed to the councilwoman to distance herself from this individual if she wanted to be successful. Obviously, she didn't. So, councilwoman, does this look familiar? This is your mail literature when running for council. You accused your opponent of being an opportunist. Well, you are exhibiting the same as you accused. You ran for school board president, didn't finish the term, only to run for councilwoman. Now you want to be mayor after only 1.5 years as council. Well, who is the opportunist now? If the great citizens of Old Bridge only research you and not listen to your lies, they will learn you sold property for the warehouses and many other lies. People of Old Bridge, this election is not about Republican or Democrat. It's about no parental rights in schools, needle exchange programs, sanctuary cities, higher taxes, lockdowns when they deem it so, defund the police, no bail, boys changing in your daughter's locker room, and before anyone gets their bloomers in a tizzy, I'm a gay woman. They claim to know science. Well, XX and XY is science, and that doesn't change. Make the right choice. I don't bother anyone. I grew up in Red Hook, Brooklyn, during the 60s and through the 90s. I am not intimidated by bullying. I fear 3 people, my mom, dad, which are no longer on this earth, and the good Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior. People of Old Bridge, you come home from a hard day's work, put on the TV, only to see the horrors of New York City. Don't make Old Bridge, New York shitty, which is totally Democrat-run. I'm fed up. Stop with the lies, and everything I've said is factual and can be proven. Thank you.
Hi, guys. Not mentioning my name, although it was mentioned. So I wasn't going to talk about that. I was going to thank you guys for getting together the electric grid plan. But that said, back in April 2022, one of the signatories and one of the speakers to this tirade spat on my 16-year-old son right here in the council chambers, and prior to that, physically assaulted me from behind on the camera. Okay? So when anybody wants an apology from anybody, it's, by the way, in police record. You can ask them why that was reported. You can check the video. I mean, you guys were really busy chatting away when it happened. But you can check the video. The gentleman who usually is here, he has it. And by the way, for those Republicans who don't know it, Jack Citarelli, he supports needle exchange. Well, one of the ladies here, excuse me, but one of the ladies here was against needle exchange who spoke. That's why we're not voting for that. Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, anyone?
Good evening. I am an Old Bridge resident. Hello, council, mayor, clerk. It saddens me as a resident to see people come and attack you. So I would like to let all of you know that I am happy of what your services do. You might not get everything. Nobody could bat 1,000. You got to miss a pitch once in a while. But I thank you for having interest in Old Bridge. I like to, Dr. Greenberg, I like to thank her for always expressing facts. Come to me for facts. This is the facts. People go with facts. You might do well. But I just like everybody, thumbs up. You need a plug once in a while. Everybody finds time to always say something negative. So I'm trying to use my time for positive. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard this evening? Good evening.
Good evening. I wasn't planning to speak, but I felt compelled to speak after so many issues brought up. I can only say that as someone who has been before the zoning board as a resident of Old Bridge and I know Mr. Roselli must have gotten my email, hopefully. I can only assure everyone that they are very professional and they are volunteers who are doing the best for the citizens of Old Bridge. Do I agree with the outturn? Well, actually, they agreed that it wasn't a place to put a warehouse in my backyard. A judge overruled them. So that's a long story. That's not any part of this. But I do want to just say that the zoning board, the planning board people, they spend long nights like you do, and I feel attacks like that are not warranted. And as to Councilperson DeCaro, obviously, I think connecting her to someone under a very big tent who has now stepped outside the tent is not really conductive to civil discourse. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard this evening? Good evening.
Good evening. Man, I chose a very bad day to talk about the planning board. But I have no qualms about their character, but I do want to speak on a business that recently had to shut its doors in Old Bridge. There was recently a pizzeria that had to close down off Route 18. This, I say that, and I think that it's important for this board to understand this and this council to understand this, is because this was the third and fourth pizzeria that's been in this particular location. I've spoken with the owner, who has never complained about any of the troubles he has gone through as he got his business opened. He was always very positive about everything, but he has spoken about the issues of getting approval from the planning board on a lot of the things that he needed to do to operate his business. He was saying that it took 3 to 4 months for certain things to happen. It took a lot of back and forth. And again, he was never complaining. He was never having any issues. But I think it is important that we remind the planning board that with our small businesses, it's already hard enough in this economy. It's already a hard enough business climate that we could be taking steps to make a more business-friendly Old Bridge. And of course, doing it in a way that's safe, that makes sure that everyone is within compliance, but understanding that businesses already have it hard enough. And this is a business plaza that, by the way, was only built maybe a couple of years pre-COVID. So to see that kind of turnaround is really disheartening, because we're now seeing half-empty plazas that could be filled, and especially when we have older ones that are filled as well. I'd also like to add that, as many of you might know, my wife is running for council, and I think she's running on behalf of supporting small businesses, and she's running alongside Ms. DeCaro as well, who I personally know, who I know has supporting my wife's campaign, and I have nothing but the best things to say about her. I think she is a person of the highest moral character, is a good representative for Old Bridge, both in this position as well as her time in the school board, and I think would serve us well in her position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to be heard this evening? Okay, seeing no hands, I will close the public portion, and we will now go to council comments.
Councilperson DeCaro, council comments?
Yeah, sure. So I was accused and attacked again tonight by the same person who addressed me when I first got on council, and I thought I had explained, yeah, I know, I'm not crying, it's okay, I'm really not. I thought I had explained to you, my situation, but I just want to, and I'm not going to get into anything major, but I just want to clarify, everybody talks about facts. Well, let me tell you facts. I have never once said to defund the police. As a matter of fact, if you watch my All Around Old Bridge interview, which I just did, I said that we need to fund the police. I have constantly said that we need more police officers in this town. I have never once in my life, said to defund the police. So that is not a fact. You talk about fact, that is not one, okay? So there's one. The needle exchange program, let's talk about this now, okay? When I ran for council, and I would never have brought this up if it wasn't already just brought up and the door was open. When I ran for council, a member of someone who is also a member of the Democratic Party came up to this council and asked the council for a needle exchange program. That was not me. I did not ask for a needle exchange program. I did not have it in any of my council platform. There was never any words come out of my mouth to say I wanted a needle exchange program. I personally don't think that it's necessary in Old Bridge. I have never once said that I wanted it, and that was a lie that was perpetrated by my opponent at the time to the point where they had signs put up, "Stop the needle exchange." Okay? So again, another fact remains that you came up here and you were talking about facts, and those were two lies. So I'm sure that maybe I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you were not. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's my time. You can't. It's my time.
Public
We can talk
portion is
after.
closed.
We can talk after. I have no problem with that. But don't lie. Don't stand up here and lie about me. Don't lie, because I don't lie. Don't associate me with anyone else in my party, because they're not me. If you want to learn about me, you call me up and ask me. Or you can talk to me. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. So you can talk to me afterwards. If you think that I want a needle exchange program here, I do not. Do you think I want to defund the police? Are you kidding? No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think we are low in the amount of police officers that we have in this town. And I think that we need to pay them more. And I have said that, and I have been very vocal about that. So please, educate them. Now, I really was going to talk very generally about things that are going on. And you know what? I'm not going to be derailed, and I'm still going to do that. So enough of that. First I want to go and thank Anahita and Matt for having a wonderful senior center. I'm so glad that you guys were recognized tonight for what you did. You guys do a great job, and I just really want to commend you. I want to talk about Friday Night Lights in full swing. We played our first official game. Unfortunately, we did not come out the victor, but it was a really great game. It was a high-scoring game against South Brunswick. So the next game is September 14th, and I hope everybody shows up. It's a really great time. The place was packed, and it's a really great time to show school spirit and township spirit. So please come out, always come out and support our team. I did do Brady's Voice. I was at Brady's Voice. I will get back to that. But we also had 9/11 Memorial last night, yesterday, and I want to thank the mayor for a wonderful service. A lot of really, really good speakers. It's funny because the one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I have written down here, is that one of the things our former governor said there was that, especially on September 11th, we are, and I wish this was this way all the time, but we were being specific to September 11th. We're not Republican and we're not Democrat. We're Americans. And we should always be just Americans, not Republican, not Democrat. We are here for the township. We are here for the state. We are here for the country as Americans. And another thing that was said was that we should all behave like we did on September 12th. On September 12th, we all came together as a nation, and we should all behave that way still, not just on September 11th Memorial, but all the time. And that's what I wanted to say. That was what I had planned to say before that. With regard to Brady's Voice, it was a wonderful day. It was a wonderful event born from tragic circumstances. And I took the liberty, I was thinking about it the other day, and I actually wrote something down because it's a very emotional thing for me, because mental health is something that's very it's very important to me, and I think we definitely need more awareness. So if you bear with me, I did write something down. Again, it was a wonderful event born from tragic circumstances. I was talking with a friend at the event, and she said it made her happy to see all the resources available to people, but at the same time, it was sad that we needed them. Life can be really hard sometimes, but we just have to remember that there is always help out there. There's always help. And I understand that there are times when a person doesn't believe that. In the case of Brady, who sadly and tragically took his own life. But when you're in a state of depression, you just can't find your way out, no matter what people say. And I know this because I'm going to say something right now that, I've never really said in public. My family and my friends know for pretty much my whole adult life, I have suffered from depression and anxiety myself. And, nobody knows it. I deal with it. And, it comes, it goes. But it's been for a very long time, and I do take medication for it. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Not anymore. Not after Sunday. Not after all of the counseling services that I saw available on Sunday. We need to destigmatize the need for mental health. We need to destigmatize the need, asking for help. Asking for help when you have a mental health problem is the same as asking for help if you have a broken leg. You need help. It's the same thing. We need to, and that's what a therapist told me once, many years ago, because I didn't want to take the medication. And she said to me that it's a disease. It's like diabetes. If I had diabetes, I would take medicine. It's not a weakness. So why would I question the need? So the stigma is very real. It's hard, and but I just want everyone to know that if anyone is feeling like they just aren't, they're not right, they're depressed, they feel like no one is listening, my number is 732-261-2342, and my personal email is jilldecaro@gmail.com, and I will be there to listen to anyone. And that's just what I wanted to say, and I apologize for my beginning comments. Thank you, that's it.
Councilperson De Palma.
Thank you. So again, yesterday, with being September 11th, thank you, Mayor Henry, Matt, and everyone in the township that got that together. I was speaking with one of the family members this morning when I was dropping my daughter off at morning care at McDivitt, and just how thankful she is that we continue to have that. And I think it's very important, not only that our township does it, but especially this area, but across the country, that folks understand what happened, 22 years ago. A lot of folks, were affected, whether it was friends, family members, loved ones, whatever that might be. I just think it's very important that we continue to make sure that folks understand what happened on that day, that we speak to our children. It's funny that now that I'm of a certain age, I work with a lot of younger folks who don't remember, and when I was teaching, folks that weren't even alive when this happened. So I guess I'm part of the history books now. But I think it's very important that we continue this tradition and we honor the folks that passed away on that day. It's probably one of the toughest days of the year for me, outside of any other personal tragedies, just because of so many folks that I know that had passed, whether they were firemen or friends, parents, or loved ones. So I just think it's a wonderful thing that we do. And it was actually pretty wild yesterday that during the whole ceremony, the storms that were coming that took power out through town, took trees down throughout my ward. But as we were getting ready to lay the wreath and lay the flowers on the memorials, it stopped. And there was thunder and lightning all around us as I was outside talking to Matt and talking to the mayor. you could see the lightning striking all over the place, but not a spot over our memorial. And I think a lot of that happened actually throughout the entire state. Looking at stuff that happened in Middletown, in Aberdeen, every time someone had something, whether it was in the morning or not, it seemed like it always missed the most of that weather. So, you know, it's a solemn day, but I definitely think it's something that we need to ensure that folks today and our future generations understand what happened, and we continue that legacy, you know, going forward. And then on top of that, with the storms, I want to thank Casey and the folks at Public Works. As we were there was flooding in town with the amount of water that came down and trees that came down. You know, Casey and his team were there almost immediately. I did get a couple phone calls from the folks over in one neighborhood. Thank you very much. The resident as well in front, thank you very much for getting that done. So, you know, just a testament case to not only you, but also your folks getting out there, you know, stat. So thank you. Also, to Mr. Carrows, with Brady's Voice, the walk this weekend, you know, unfortunately it had to be moved inside due to the weather. But the quick thinking and planning by Matt and folks getting things done and moving it inside of Sandburg. It was a great turnout. Bill Spadia, who is one of the radio hosts in New Jersey, was there to speak on behalf of the family. Speaking with the family, understanding I've had, unfortunately, 2 personal tragedies in my life and in whether my friends or family that similar fate of Brady. I definitely think it's important that these type of events, as they go on, we support as much as we can. We support these folks and we support these, you know, the folks that do have problems and are going through these issues because, you know, you don't know what you don't know, right? You know, and speaking with Brady's aunt, it was a normal day, and then it wasn't. And I think that happens too much, too often. Please make sure that you are checking in on your family. Make sure that you are speaking if you have problems. I tell my children all the time, there's nothing you can't tell mommy and daddy. It's too much. You know, every life is valuable, and everyone deserves a chance to live to the fullest. You know, I know Mayor Henry even brought up the what if yesterday. Like, what if 9/11 didn't happen? How much better would society be with those 15 folks in Old Bridge still around, and with Brady? How much better would their family life be? You know, momentary lapses shouldn't dictate the future. And then first week of school, just hope all the kids are as excited as my children were going back last week. First full week this week. The one thing I did notice in dropping my daughter off this morning, when you folks see the bus, the red sign, it's not a suggestion. It's a stop sign, so stop. Please do not pass it. Don't try to run it. Make sure you are on the lookout for kiddies now, especially some of the smaller ones who don't quite get the look both ways. I consistently need to preach to not only my second grader, but also my sixth grader that you are not invincible, and cars do not see you. If you are running out, you have the potential of getting hit. So please keep on the lookout, especially during the times that the buses pick them up in the morning and when the buses drop them off in the afternoon. And then finally, just very excited about the golf course. As Councilman Walker said, it's one of the biggest questions that I get on a regular basis. When is it opening? When is it opening? When is it opening? A lot of rumors are out there. Folks saying it's not going to open. It's costing this. It's, you know, it's this problem, that problem. It's a great thing that's happening in town. So definitely looking forward to the end of the month when we could finally get out there and hit some golf balls. Thank you.
Councilperson Desai, council comments?
Yes, I was not here in last few meetings, and I'm missing my good friend Himanshu, who retired. I could not pay homage or could not say a good word for him, so I'm going to say in his absence. 31 plus year service to this town in finance department and then ending in administration. A true dedicated civil servant. He has dedicated his life to this old bridge, half of the life. So I'm really going to miss him. And he always promoted harmony between all kind of community in the township of Old Bridge. We are kind of a mosaic. This town has almost more than 10,000 people from South Asian origin. And he always liked to help every community, not only his Indian community. So Himanshu, I'm going to miss you in council meeting, but we will be a friend and we'll talk. Second thing I want to mention, recently India celebrated its 77th anniversary of the independence. On 15th of August 1947, India became independent. This town, we have celebrated India's independence since last 30 years by raising the flag of India outside it at the flagpole. Starting with Mayor Cannon, Mayor Phillips, and now Mayor Henry from last 11th year, always supported, and council and mayor has proclaimed that day as a India Day in the township of Old Bridge. So on behalf of South Asian and particular Indian community, I thank Mayor, Council and Recreation Department who has always helped us to celebrate India's Independence Day. Other thing, summer is over, but somehow the weather is still summer. It doesn't look like we are entering in fall. So what we say in India, monsoon also never ends. Every day we have a rain. So something has to be done by all citizens for this effect of environment. We have to do something. We have to try to change the course. Not for us, because most of us will be not there after 20 or more years. But our children, our grandchildren, we have to leave this planet for them so they can live peacefully. Thank you, and everybody at home, please stay happy, because unfortunately, this coronavirus is still coming back. And lots of people are getting it or admitted to the hospitals. So please be safe. Thank you. Have a nice fall whenever it arrives. Thank you. Because I don't know when it will come.
Councilperson Garcia.
Hi, yes, thank you. I also want to thank the mayor and his team for last night's event. It was a great event, 911 ceremony. It was upsetting, of course, because it brings back memories. But like Councilwoman DeCaro said earlier, we should all get together. We should all enjoy each other. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter who you are. This is one United States. We need to get along together. Why must we always have an event, as catastrophic as 911 was, to come together? It just bothers me so much why we're always fighting over nonsense. Those poor people have lost their lives. It just makes no sense why we're going through this nonsense. It bothers me so much why we have to fight over this silly stuff. It's comical. It's just wrong. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter who we are. We are one United States. Why can't we just get along? Last night's event was a great event. Like she said, September 12th, it was a great event as well. Why do we need that? Why can't we just get along in general? Just everybody get along and stop the bickering and fighting and all that nonsense. We just don't need. We're better than this. So again, I thank the mayor and everybody involved last night. It was a great event, and thank you. And Casey, you as well, I know you were busy last night, you said till about 10 o'clock, working hard. And I as well, I miss Amancio. I've only known him for a year and a half. He's only been gone a month, and, I would call him every so often. He was the voice of reason. He was good to talk to. He knew what he was doing. So I miss him as well. So again, thank you guys, and have a good night. I'll see you on the 23rd, Old Bridge Day, I should say. Thank you.
Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes. I do think it's appropriate, although everyone else has said it so far, about the 9/11 memorial ceremony. Tragically, 22 years have passed, and that's lost that day will always be in our hearts. We will never forget. It remains a very sad and solemn time, and reflect on that sadness, the shock of that day. Everyone who was alive at that time will remember where they were and what they were doing. And really, truly, that morning was such a beautiful morning to start out like that, and then for this to happen. I remember Barbara Cannon, after that happened, everyone got together, and we really got together to fundraise, should get the design together and get that memorial. I, myself, sometimes when I'm at the library or in town, I just don't go at 9/11. I'll go over there and I'll say, how did 22 years pass? Yesterday, when I saw the families, I saw some of the boys that, from Sarahwood South Little League, they're grown men now. Life goes on, but it's sad without the loss, missing the ones that you love. And I would only say that we must remain united, strong, and never take our freedom for granted. Also, when you think yesterday how this town is pretty dynamic. When you think of the amount of people in here and all the activities that are going on all the time, and people do come together for each other. And it was witnessed at the first annual Brady's Voice, and for mental health awareness. And my heart goes out to the Elbaum family, to deal with something like that. And I always say, be kind, be gentle, be respectful. And, bullying that goes on in school, we have a code of conduct, we don't want that. But there's adults that are bullying too. And that's not a very good example for the future, for our youth, for society, for civil society. So there's no place for that. Also, there was a charity event this past weekend when someone needs it. People come together for families in need. There was, Debbie will elaborate more, Ms. Walker will elaborate more on it at the pickleball court. Also, I want to thank all the volunteers in this town. There are so many that do so many different things that make these things possible. We had the culture arts, that team put together a great concert at the end of the summer, concert in the park at Guyke Park. Everyone should go out. The night was beautiful. The band was great. It was a lot of fun seeing people out there enjoying, and really to see the sky that night. That moon was beautiful. So when we have another event, I hope everyone goes. And then also, there's good things and there's bad things, but we all have to get through the bad things. And one of the things with the Municipal Alliance, the ceremony that we have every day, these all are things of reminders in life. I've gone to all the 9/11 ceremonies, the Municipal Alliance, when you come together for that, to realize how everyone's affected. If someone has an abuse problem, it affects everyone. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic, your race, your religion, it can affect you, and it's devastating to a family. But we always want to know that there is help out there. And then, of course, I'm always asked about these roads in town, so I'll just highlight it a little bit, because people are saying, first of all, a lot of activity is going on with public entity that's doing the gas lines, because they got more funding, so they're digging up roads. We have a policy where you're not supposed to touch the roads if it was paved within the 5 years. So we're getting complaints, oh, they're digging up my road. It will be made whole, but this time the public utilities will be resurfacing it. And the engineering staff tries to coordinate all the time with these utilities, but this was a rare event that they had more money, so they're doing more projects, but they will come back and they will make a road beautiful again. A lot of times, it benefits if when they contact us and we coordinate it, then they pave half the road and we only have to pave half the road, so it saves money. But as you know, we do have a road paving program, and it's very active on getting done. So I'll leave it with that because everyone's been very patient tonight. Just to say to the kids, good luck at school this year. Pay attention, study hard, and all the sports leagues, best of luck to you.
Councilperson Peschitti.
Yeah. How do I follow that? That's tough. But I agree with everything everyone has said. Yeah, the 9/11 memorial was definitely touching. And it does remind me that, you know, we're not here on earth forever, you know. You really need to be respectful and love your family and friends and neighbors and, you know, give your kids a hug. And, you know, life is short. Enjoy it. Thanks.
Councilperson Walker.
I'll keep it short since it's getting late. I just want to talk about how wonderful the people in Old Bridge are. I also attended the 9/11 ceremony last night, and I was so happy to see that it was very well attended, that people don't forget. And I just hope moving forward, people do not forget, ever. Also, we had a nice pickleball event this weekend. One of our, as you all know, I'm an avid pickleball player, and I call it my family, my pickleball family. I've come to know like about 200 people now through pickleball. Not only is it good exercise, but socially it's the most amazing experience. But these people are so wonderful that we found out one of our pickleball players, her husband was dying of brain cancer, and sadly he passed away. But our pickleball family got together. We had an amazing fundraiser for her this weekend. We raised a lot of money. We had over 100 people there because she has 2 small children she left behind. But all of these people came together for her this weekend, and it was a wonderful event. Very nice. And also, so when we're playing pickleball, I noticed that Menino, they are laying the turf down today in the outfield. It looks great. If you ever have an opportunity to go to Menino, and it's really nice. I was watching them for a while, putting the turf down, so that's coming soon. Also, the golf course, if you haven't driven by, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so happy that it's going to be opening again because I have to try to get my golf swing back. Hopefully it comes back. And everyone just have a nice fall. See you soon.
Council President Sohar.
Yeah, I'll make it very, very short also. I just wanted to say, I really did attend all the events that everyone spoke about, and it shows you just how wonderful our community is, whether it's someone who's ill, someone who has passed away. The 9/11 naturally goes without saying. It was absolutely beautiful. Pickleball, all of it, Brady's voice, how that family rose from such tragedy and brought it to try to help everyone else. You know, some other times people might just kind of go into a shell when something like that happens. I can't even comprehend the pain. But they reached out and they have done a phenomenal job helping identify and working with people, and their positive attitude to me is it's just amazing what they did with, in the loss of their son. So really, Old Bridge is a wonderful place. All the projects, I'm very glad because it has been a long, long haul, but we are finally getting there. And I'm glad because people are anxious, which is wonderful. And I just want everybody to know that it is coming together, and it will be here very shortly. In the fall, should see a lot of completion of these projects. And Old Bridge Day is coming. Please, guys, come out. You'll enjoy it. They have a lot scheduled. One other thing, a shout out to Mike Petchower, our OEM, because along with Casey last night and, all of them, Mike does a fantastic job at keeping everybody safe. And, I tell him no more coffee, but he really is amazing with that. And we're very, very grateful we have someone like that who comes out and takes charge and, he's decaf definitely, but he's just amazing. So I wanted to make sure he's recognized as well. Thank you very much. For closed session?
Yeah, we have a resolution to, we will not be reconvening, so we'll be adjourning into a closed session for litigation matter, national lead, and a personnel matter.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg, second by Mr. De Palma.
Do we have to come out of it?
No, we won't.
Roll call, Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli? Yes. Councilperson Pasquini?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar? Yes. 8 yeses. 9